Michael Chandler versus Tony Ferguson takes place this weekend on the main card of UFC 274, Oliveira versus Gaethje, and I can't wait for this lightweight matchup. Two top 10 contenders in the lightweight division, and there is so much on the line for the winner and loser of this bout, and I feel like I know who the winner and loser of this bout are going to be, and it really hurts me to say this, but I think we're going to be seeing the end of Tony Ferguson, and I think if he does lose this matchup against Michael Chandler, depending on his performance in a loss, if he loses the way I think he's going to lose, I think we could see the end of Tony Ferguson's career, and I think the winner of this matchup is going to be in an amazing position because we've just heard that Dustin Poirier is interested in the winner of this matchup, and he's a top contender in the lightweight division, so the winner of this one could be putting themselves in a potential title elimination bout, depending on what happens at the top of the division and what the timeline is like as well. But the loser of this one, it's fair to say, has sort of slipped out of relevancy of the lightweight division, and I feel like Tony Ferguson is going to be the loser of this matchup. I think Michael Chandler's got this one in the bag, and I think also the winner of this matchup can look to call out a guy like Conor McGregor, who does not have a matchup for his return fight, which I think is going to be in August or September, something along those lines. So I think that timing-wise, this is perfect to elect a new opponent for Conor McGregor in the lightweight division. So there's so much on the line, and I think Michael Chandler's going to take it with both hands. And I think he's going to put out Tony Ferguson in that first round. Michael Chandler, in the first round of a fight, before he gets caught up in a brawl and wants to impress the crowd against Justin Gaethje, is an extremely capable lightweight. And I just don't think Tony Ferguson's got what it takes anymore. And I keep hearing the same things from his interviews, and it's kind of hurting me because I'm seeing him say stuff like, I've gone back to the drawing board and I've reinvented myself. And I'm like, no, you're going to be Tony Ferguson. You're going to do wild stuff early on the feet. You're not going to shoot a takedown on Michael Chandler. And if you are, I don't think it's going to be very successful anyway. You're going to hope that Michael Chandler gasses out on the feet trying to beat you up. Then you're going to try and put on the pressure in the later rounds of this fight. And then Michael Chandler maybe shoots a bad takedown, gets Darce choked. You put him in Snapdown City. The Darce Knight rises once again. And Tony Ferguson is victorious. And I think that's the problem with Tony Ferguson. People have seen the game plan so many times. And especially in a free rounder, they know how to deal with it now. And for the life of me, I don't know why Tony Ferguson's manager won't just have a bit of a reality check and say his next fight's a 5-rounder no matter what. Because I would like Tony Ferguson's chances to win this fight so much more if it was a 5-round bout. But because it's a free rounder, Chandler's going to win. And he has so many ways that he can win. And Tony Ferguson has been out of the octagon for a year now. And I think that Michael Chandler's going to KO him brutally in the first round. Get on the microphone, call out Conor McGregor, do a side call out of Dustin Poirier, and exit the building saying, see you at the top. I think Michael Chandler wins this one. I really do. I think he's going to go out there early on, feinting at Tony Ferguson, getting a couple of reads on what Ferguson wants to do, chop at the legs of Tony Ferguson, throw some heavy calf kicks. A lot of people don't give him enough credit for that against Justin Gaethje. Chandler was winning the leg kick battle early on. He genuinely was. Chandler sort of got lost in the sauce of that Justin Gaethje matchup. He was pointing to the crowd. He was just walking into shots with his hands down in the third round and stuff like that. When in reality, when Chandler actually wanted to win the Gaethje fight, he was winning the Gaethje fight. He won the first round. He rocked Gaethje badly. He was out leg kicking Justin Gaethje early on as well. He had Gaethje's leg dead with some very heavy calf kicks early on in the fight. He was doing really good body work in the third round before he just decided to walk into punches like a maniac and throw tornado kick after tornado kick in that third round. He came back after getting dropped as well. He's had a bit of time off since that Gaethje contest. I just don't think that Tony Ferguson has the power to put away Michael Chandler. He does have some power in his hands, but I don't think Michael Chandler's going to have to fear any power of Tony Ferguson. And I just think Tony Ferguson at this point in his career, with the age that he is just a little bit too fragile. The Gaethje beatdown was horrific. He did okay early on in that fight. He won the second round of that fight. People forget that. He had a very close first round as well. But past that, he took such an amazing amount of damage, and I use amazing in the worst way I can possibly think. He took such an incredible amount of damage that I just don't think he's going to be able to recover on top of the previous damage he's taken in his career as well. Now, Chandler has been finished, but Tony Ferguson has taken such a beatdown throughout his career I just think Chandler's going to be way more switched on, way faster, way more powerful. And even if he can't get this done by first round KO the way I think he's going to, Chandler's a really good wrestler. And if he wants to, I truly see Chandler being able to take down Tony Ferguson and just sit in half guard and beat him. Chandler got his back taken by Oliveira and escaped. I don't think you're getting that. Michael Chandler got taken down and had his back taken against Charles Oliveira and escaped. His back being taken by Charles Oliveira. He then stayed on top and proceeded to beat up Oliveira badly on the ground. At this point in their careers, I truly believe Charles Oliveira is a much more dangerous ground game fighter than Tony Ferguson, especially off of his back. Tony Ferguson does have some good submissions wins off of his back, but that's when Kevin Lee was starting to gas out, and there's always like a reason as to why Tony Ferguson got the submission that he did. It's not like he just put him in that position, completely outclassed them jiu-jitsu wise. It's often that they've been beaten up, they've fallen down on the ground with him, and he's latched up a dash choke or something like that. I just don't think that Ferguson has any options here other than hoping that Chandler tries to finish him early and gasses out in the process of doing so. And even then, you'd want 5 rounds to capitalize on a guy slowing down like that. But Michael Chandler's going to go out there. He's going to be too fast for Tony Ferguson. He's going to chew up the legs of Tony Ferguson badly. He's going to go to the body with some straight punches. He did that against Justin Gaethje. He did that very well against Dan Hooker as well. He did that very well against Charles Oliveira with a straight right hand to the body. It eventually got him finished in the second round, going to the body and not having good enough defense, where Oliveira found that left hook. But I just feel like Chandler's got so many options. And I think Ferguson's just going to be guessing and playing reactionary fighting. And I think he's going to lose when he does that. I can see Chandler going out there, chewing up his legs, ripping apart his body, landing a couple of big shots early. Then I can see Michael Chandler slipping on the the inside of Tony Ferguson's jab. Tony Ferguson leaving his chin way up in the air. And Chandler catching Tony Ferguson with a right hand over his sloppy jab, rocking him badly, putting him all over the place, maybe ending up on top of Tony Ferguson and beating him up on the ground for a little bit while Ferguson goes for a leg lock that isn't really there, and Chandler's just sort of pummeling his face into the canvas. Then Ferguson's going to be beaten up, slashed open. His legs are going to be numb from the earlier part of the fight where Chandler's been destroying his legs. He's going to get back up, try and shake it off a little bit, try and get back into the fight, and then I can see a big 1-2 down the pipe from Michael Chandler, square on the chin of Tony Ferguson, putting him out cold badly. I think this is going to be the first time we see Tony Ferguson get put out cold. I don't want it to happen. And it actually annoys me that in what might be, in my opinion, the last high-profile fight of Tony Ferguson's career. I mean, if he wants to continue, I guess we could do like a Tony Ferguson-Dan Hooker, and I'm all for that. I don't mind that, honestly, as a matchup, but I feel like this is the last real high-profile, high-competition level matchup for Tony Ferguson's career, and it annoys me that Embedded have not put any time into Tony Ferguson on Embedded. I was watching every Embedded episode, praying for a Tony Ferguson feature, and unless he's secretly the cameraman, spying on Michael Chandler's training routines, then I don't know where Tony Ferguson's been on the Embedded. I really wanted to see him, wanted to get some of the memes out of him for the build-up of this fight, but I guess we're going to have to wait until the press conference. Chandler by KO in the first round, brutally, man. Chandler by KO in the first round. Really badly. And if he doesn't get that, he can just invest on Ferguson and just take him down and ride out Top Control. Because Dariush can do that. And Dariush is very good, but he's a bit of an overachiever, and I think his status in the lightweight division is highly to do with his win over Tony Ferguson, which might not mean that he's the best fighter in the world. It's sad. It's sad that these words are coming out of my mouth about Tony Ferguson, but I just don't see him winning. I could maybe see a reality where Tony Ferguson somehow survives a Chandler onslaught in the first round. Chandler goes for a big finish because he knows the spotlight he's in. Tony Ferguson somehow survives, and Michael Chandler completely gasses out in the second and third round. But Chandler's shown good cardio. A lot of people say he has a cardio problem. He doesn't really. It's just that he's so explosive early on that he just becomes normal level later on in the fight. At the start of the third round, Chandler was running away with the round against Justin Gaethje and then just decided to lose by walking into punches and throwing tornado kicks only over and over again, rather than throwing leg kicks and body shots and trying to take down Gaethje. But I just feel like Chandler's got this one in the bag. More focused. He's been active, even though he's taken some damage. He's been reasonably active. I think it's been about 6 months since his fight with Justin Gaethje in the first place. Tony Ferguson's been out for a year, and he's old, and he's been out for a year. He's not going to be switched on in that first round. An active Tony Ferguson is a dangerous Tony Ferguson. To see him take a year out, fair play, he could have changed some things around and switched up a training camp, but at the end of the day, it's going to be about who's more switched on early in this fight, and if Chandler's more switched on, he's going to chew up Ferguson's leg, he's going to rip apart his body, and I think he's going to put him out cold. Chandler's got a different level of power. And Gaethje was kind of taking heat off his shots. You even heard that in the corner of Justin Gaethje in that fight. Trevor Whitman was saying, stop trying to KO him. Take that power off your shots. I feel like if Gaethje actually put full steam on his shots, he might have been able to KO Tony Ferguson in that fight. And now that we're after that fight's damage, I think Chandler's got a much higher chance of doing so himself. He's got a lot of power, a lot of speed, and Ferguson's striking defense just isn't all there. And when you look back at some of the names that Tony Ferguson beat in the lightweight division, Kevin Lee, Anthony Pettis, like, please, where are these fighters now? RDA's still there, and that win has aged quite well. I don't know if he would beat RDA nowadays. I think there was like a myth of Tony Ferguson's ground game for a very long time. And now that fighters are getting 3-rounders against him, they're like not as worried about like gassing out in 4 and 5 or getting elbowed a bunch and then having to fight on in late into the third, knowing that there's 2 rounds more. I think 3-rounders are Tony Ferguson's kryptonite. And I don't know why his management has done this to him. I don't know why at all. Why would they pick a 3-rounder for Tony Ferguson? Why? Like, there's so many main events coming up for fight nights that we don't have main events for. Tony Ferguson, Michael Chandler a couple of weeks from now. Why not? Why not, Tony Ferguson's manager? You've doomed him to a 3-rounder after a year off against one of the most powerful punchers in the sport. Chandler gets this one done. Plus, Chandler's a man of opportunity, and he knows what's on the line here. Ferguson's going to be fighting for his career, realistically. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on him going into this matchup. For Chandler, he's still got a chance to bounce back if he loses. He can still be a relevant lightweight. He'll probably still be in the top 10 if he loses this one. But for Tony Ferguson, it's all on the line. I don't see him winning. And for Chandler, it's an opportunity to go out there, get a big win on pay-per-view and make the most of a microphone moment afterwards. Call out Conor McGregor. Call out Dustin Poirier. Fucking Ferguson, man. It's such a sad way to see a career go. I'm really rooting for him and I'll be cheering along for him. If you see Michael Chandler nearly finish him in the first round and empty out the gas tank, and we go into round 2 and Ferguson's laughing and jumping around with blood dripping down his face, put some money on Ferguson maybe as a live underdog. But in the build-up, I'm really liking Chandler's chances. Not to mention, I said this in my full card predictions as well, so we'll end on this. Ferguson, if the almost being finished situations happened, now referees could step in. The Lando Venata fight, any referee nowadays would not receive hatred for stepping in that fight. There are a lot of moments in Tony Ferguson's bouts where he gets dropped and rocked all over the place, where a referee nowadays, seeing him roll around on the floor like that and roll over himself, and if the referee stopped it, and then after the referee stepped in, Ferguson's like Granby rolling on himself and struggling to get back up to his feet, that'd be a justified stoppage. And I don't like that for Ferguson right now, because it's not going to give him as much of a chance to recover as maybe he would like to. So I think Chandler's going to hurt him badly. Before that, invest a bunch of shots into the leg and body. And when Ferguson gets back up, boom, boom, 1-2 down the pipe. Ferguson's out cold. Sadly. Oh, it's such a sad sport, you know. But whatever. That's how it is. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm pulling for Tony Ferguson, but Chandler's got this one in the bag. Click that button up there. See you later. Goodbye.